Film that I've wanted to watch for years and years. Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers. What do you think of Oliver Stone, Chris?
Name off some films he's made.
JFK.
Not seen.
Platoon.
Not seen.
Wall Street.
Not seen.
W.
I've seen half an hour of it.
The Doors.
Oh, I've seen that.
How's The Doors?
Dreadful.
Salvador.
Not seen.
I think the most telling criticism of Oliver Stone I've ever read is from My Year of Flops by Nathan Rabin.
Oh yes.
The entry on W. And the opening line of that is, every cinephile reaches a maturity level where they realise Oliver Stone is full of shit.
Well, I'm glad I never went through a phase of liking Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone is one of them filmmakers, I think, who where if you're about 13, he's going to be your favourite filmmaker.
I imagine he's a good gateway filmmaker.
Well, not even that, I think, because his films are just so ridiculous that you're not going to really get any... Because to be fair, he's a quite original director in how far he pushes things. Okay. The only real gateway you get into is Michael Bay.
Whoa.
Yes, you might watch his films and think, I want something even more ludicrous and over the top.
I'll watch some Michael Bay.
Oliver Stone is known for being a reactionary idiot and a bigot on, well, not a bigot, he's sort of he's very left-leaning, but he gives left-leaning liberals a bad name.
Okay.
The most recent controversy is that he said that the Breaking Bad finale was too violent and that it would cause violence to erupt in the streets and stuff. He's gone insane. And this is from a man who wrote Scarface. He said that the Breaking Bad finale was needlessly violent. And he wrote Al Pacino's Scarface, not the original, not the third
Not
one.
the third one.
Yes.
With the most infamously violent closing scene of all time.
Yes. He wrote Scarface. He's directed some of the biggest films of the last 30 years. Even though he's not very good, he's one of the most influential and biggest filmmakers. He's one of the filmmakers who most people probably will know. Well, not now, but they would have known at his peak. They would have known him as like a brand, just because of his inflammatory comments as well. And his hatred of America and the fact that he's a crazy kid. He even funded a show, this was quite recently, called Oliver Stone's Alternative America.
Oh no.
That was like an alternative look at American history. And JFK is pretty much it's a crazy film about what really happened. But yeah, Oliver Stone, his filmmaking style is basically to use every trick in the book as obnoxiously as possible.
Did he direct Alexander?
Yes.
No, I'm not seeing that.
Alexander is that infamously awful film where Angelina Jolie plays Colin Farrell's mum, despite being 12 years older.
Yeah. But
yeah, so Natural Born Killers was incredibly controversial at the time because of the amount of violence in the film. And for being, it's basically, the film is a satire of the media representation of serial killers. It's about these two serial killers, Mickey and Mallory, who go around on a killing spree all around America. They're both white trash within the film. She grew up with an abusive, a sexually abusive father, and that's suggested why she's gone so crazy.
Oh, okay.
He's just got no character at all apart from being played by Woody Harrelson.
Oh!
Yes.
Thingy from Zombieland.
Woody Harrelson from Zombieland, No Country for Old Men. He's pretty much in everything.
Yes.
He started out playing a character called Woody in Cheers.
Oh, right.
So his career's certainly gone to some different places than Cheers.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so those two are serial killers and they go around America murdering as many people as possible until they get in prison. And that's basically the film. There's not really much substance to it. Now, I found this film to be just awful and offensive. At the time, it got some acclaim, and a lot of people saying it was dreadful. It famously got a 5-star review from Roger Ebert, or a 4 out of 4.
4 out of 4, yeah.
Yeah, he called it a great classic film, but most people said it was trash, which it is. You see, the problem with the film is that Oliver Stone, I understand what he's trying to do with the film, which is to make it as ludicrous as possible so we think about the way violence is presented.
Yeah.
But the film isn't disturbing or anything, it's just boring.
No.
It's like, this has the same plot as Badlands, and the reason Badlands is so disturbing is because of the detachment from what's happening, and because the characters don't seem to understand what they're doing, which is a much better argument against violence, isn't it? To show these clearly disturbed people. The people in this just know what they're doing and just do it anyway. Because they want to be famous. There are some good parts of this film. Robert Downey Jr. is hilarious in the film. He plays a Rupert Murdoch reporter, and he puts on an Australian accent that's about as good as this one.
Oh no.
What's his name? The guy from No Country for Old Men, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh yeah.
He's in this film and he's also hilarious. He plays the prison warden, but he's crazy and he talks like this. It's like, no one's ever escaped my prison. This is in the time where he picked roles where he could eat as much scenery as possible.
Oh yes.
He just won an Oscar for The Fugitive and he was in this and Batman Forever.
Oh god.
Have you seen him playing Two-Face in Batman Forever?
Oh yes, no, it's ingrained into my mind.
Yes.
Subtlety is not the name of the day.
No. The whole film is characterised by that. Opening scene is the best one. They're in a cafe, some people bring some food and they kill everyone. But what it does that's so annoying is that he just uses as many different film stocks as possible. Hyper-saturated, normal, black and white, and like all this stuff.
So it sounds like the worst of like post-Tarantino cinema.
Yes, well the story of this was by Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino apparently tried to make this film on a budget of $500,000, failed, and then had to sell the scripts in order to like fund other projects. He doesn't actually get he doesn't get a screenplay credit. He gets a story by credit because Oliver Stone changed it so much. I'd like to see what Tarantino would do. For all his faults, I think Tarantino knows how to direct.
That's true, yeah.
He doesn't overdo things. He's more like a classical director. As much as he's associated with that hypersensitive, but if you actually look at the camera angles, they're all fairly standard.
Yeah.
It's mainly the stuff within it that's happening. Like if you think of Pulp Fiction, there's a lot of great, I don't know, like long shots and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's a good director, and I think he'd have done this material more justice than Oliver Stone. There's also one scene that's incredibly offensive.
Okay.
So we do flashbacks to Juliette Lewis, who plays Mallory. We go flashbacks to her, like when she was a teen, when she gets rescued by Mickey, and her father's basically he's like having sex with her. He's an incestuous rapist.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but one of the more difficult decisions Oliver Stone does to characterise this is that it's on a sitcom set with canned laughter.
No.
So he's like, I'm going to join you in the shower, and then everyone laughs, and it's lit like that, and it's all like, ah. So he decides to play her being abused by her father as a sitcom. I'm assuming as a satirical sort of like, yeah, this is what you think, America.
No.
The whole film has that tone of, this is what you think, America.
Just sounds like a stupid child doesn't know what I'm talking about. Well, like a teenager first discovering politics.
Well, that I think describes Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Yes, the whole film is, as I say, it has that feeling of... The problem is that you can do that sort of hyper-stylized stuff if there's some kind of reason behind it. If you just do every single scene as, it's up here, it's down there, it's black and white, it's like this, it's like this.
And you're just Zack Snyder.
Exactly. Even Zack Snyder wouldn't go this far. Not a single scene is shot in a standard way. Or like anything other than black and white. Whoa, it's a completely crazy film. As I say, I think the problem with the film is that at the time people said he was a hypocrite for making this hyper-violent film about violence, but I don't think that's true because I think you can do that. Itchy the Killer or something.
Oh yeah.
It's hyper-violent, but it's not stupid.
Yeah, that's
the problem with this film is that every single scene is just the same thing. Someone gets killed in a horrible way. Someone gets killed in a horrible way. There's only so many times you can tell the same thing over and over again. It also has like some of the dumbest effects ever made. They drive along down the highway, and then in the background, scenes are put on behind them.
Which are like rear view projection.
Yes, but in a way that makes it look
like
it's obvious.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You should watch this film. I reckon you'd turn it off after about half an hour.
I mean, it sounds like it is irritating too much.
It was almost giving me a headache. I had to watch this in about 3 sittings. It gets better when they get arrested and put into prison. Because you get to see some of the crazy Robert Downey Jr.
performances.
Well, the Robert Downey Jr. stuff is legitimately great. He's great in it, doing like a comedy performance, and Tommy Lee Jones is hilarious as the prison warden.
It just sounds like the kind of film that just get under my skin and just irritate me.
It is very irritating.
Like, look at me, we're being all clever because we're using different filters and We'd be ironic because we got rear view projection of a car scene. They look so fake.
Yes.
That's the point of it.
Yes, every flaw with this film, I think you can pretty much square at Oliver Stone, because even like the central performances, Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, top notch. I think Woody Harrelson's a great actor, who unfortunately seems to have a Nick Cage-like agent who seems to pick him in some dreadful things.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know how to say of this film, because this I think read an article about violence in the media and watch like a supercut of Robert Downey Jr.'s scenes, and that's all you need.
Okay.
This is not a film I'd recommend. It's dated horribly.
Sounds it.
So are you ever going to watch this film?
Probably one day.
Well, I'll spoil it for you anyway.
Okay, thank you.
In the end, they kill Robert Downey Jr. and they walk off, and then they raise a family and vow never to kill again.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't end with any grand point on violence.
Okay.
It almost tries to pretend that the main couple are like innocents in this world, which again was utilised in Badlands because they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
they were obviously so detached, but it's just a rubbish film.
I think if you want a film that is all about representation of violence, like you mentioned, just watch Ichi the Killer.
Ichi the Killer, or if you want a film about two serial killers that's sad and haunting, watch Badlands.
Yeah. Just
do a double bill of Ichi the Killer and Badlands.
Yeah, because like with Ichi the Killer, you look at the murders and the way it happens. All the murders to the men are super stylized and anime style, but then the violence to the women is brutal and realistic, and it makes you think about the way that, like I said, that you receive violence and whether it can be entertaining as like it is towards the males, and then it can be horrific like it is towards the females.
But wouldn't you thought that'd be a better film if there was a lot more filters and stylised?
Well, that's what I was screaming out for.
And in the film, in the bits where it was brutal towards the women, wouldn't you have liked to see some like canted angles and like a soundtrack of like rock music? This film actually has a really good soundtrack. It's got Leonard Cohen, Bob Dylan, a lot of that kind of stuff.
It seems like one of them kind of films where they just pick a song just because it's cool, but it doesn't actually really fit the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it even starts with him dancing to something like Radar Love. Something like that, one of them sort of cock rock classics.
The summarise for me of that scene is in American Hustle, when she dances to
Live and
Let Die, where she picked it because it's a cool song.
Yes.
There's no other reason.
What else was I going to say? The only good thing about...
Got 3 minutes left.
The only good thing about this film is the fact it uses the great Leonard Cohen song The Future as sort of a repeating motif. It's a great song, and I closed my eyes and was like, this is pretty good. Then when the song was over, I opened them. I remember I was watching.
You were watching Natural Born Killers.
Yes. But it's an important film because it was so controversial at the time. Like, people hated this film, and they just wanted it to be destroyed. But just not a very good one.
Out of 10?
Out of 10 and a 4. I don't know, because there's a lot to recommend about it, but in the end of the day it's just a bad film.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with that kind of stuff? Yeah, just buy the soundtrack and watch Ichi the Killer in Badlands with it played in the background.
That's a much better experience.
But yeah, 4 out of 10, not very, very good. Yeah, you have a different opinion? Tell us why.